Today, we are shining a light on something that is as urgent as it is inspiring, the need for foster parents right here in the QCA.
In Illinois alone, more than 20,000 children are currently in foster care, and there simply aren't enough homes to meet the need. But Lutheran Social Services of Illinois is working hard to change that, and joining us from that organization is Andrea McLean. Andrea, thanks for joining us today.
Hi, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, obviously a very important topic, and Lutheran Services really has an important role in the foster care industry, or I guess the need for foster care in the Quad Cities area.
Yes.
So tell us more about that need and how you guys help.
Sure. So we're always out there looking for foster homes. Once a kid comes into care, DCFS actually places the child, but sometimes that placement isn't always stable. And then we have to look to placing the kid in another home, and that's where we really need our traditional homes if there's no relatives or fictive kin available.
Okay, so you really do play a huge role in coordinating care for these children and kind of being that liaison in situations like this. Give us, just because you live this every day, give us kind of a sense of how big the need is for foster parents right now. I know you guys are specific to Illinois, so if you can speak to that.
Sure. So in general, I mean, right now I have a few kids that are needing placement.
Okay.
And they're not your typical teenagers that are stereotyped. I mean, these are younger kids as well. Just the need is huge. Just foster parents, they can only foster for so long, and then they retire in a sense, right?
Sure.
So it's an ongoing need.
Yeah, so who can become a foster parent? Because I know there's probably some misconceptions out there on who and who cannot become one.
Sure. So you have to be at least 21. You can be single, married, in a relationship, but not together. And then just being able to provide a stable income, a room for that foster child. We make sure that they get fingerprinted and run those background checks.
Okay.
We do a home assessment, making sure everything's safe in the home, and just working with them on policies and procedures so they have the tools to do what and not to do, and then going through training online too.
Okay, I do want to talk a little bit more about training in a minute, but as what Kyle alluded to, do you feel like there's a lot of misconceptions out there from people who think that the only folks who can be foster parents are people that are like, you know, they're a married couple, a man and a woman? I mean, is that something that you see a lot, that you have to tell people that's not necessarily the case?
Yeah. And I don't even think about it because I know.
Yeah.
Right. But then every once in a while, somebody will pipe up and ask. We have single foster parents.
Yeah.
We have same-sex couple foster parents.
Right.
We have older foster parents, so there's no age. It's just what can you handle, and what's a good fit for you and your family.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And of course you guys provide those resources for the training for these people who want to become foster parents and kind of learn the ropes of how this is done. So what does that training entail? So
the training is online on Zoom, or we also have a self-paced training too. And they do all of this trauma training, and then they discuss everything with a trainer and other foster parents, so they can just learn from each other and ask all the questions as needed. Of course, every situation is different, so we try to provide as much trauma training as possible, but we can't cover every single topic.
Sure.
But then there's ongoing trainings through the life of them being a foster parent.
I wanted to talk specifically about teenagers, or there's a lot of sibling situations. Can you speak at all to what kind of challenges that may pop up when it comes to fostering someone who is a teenager or more than one child, but also the rewards that come with that?
Yeah. So teenagers, sometimes they have a stigma. People hear the word teenager and they run.
Right.
Yeah.
But I always say, you know what you're getting with a teenager, right?
Yeah, you can prepare yourself.
Yeah. And then sibling groups, just a home that has enough space to provide that, because we do try hard to keep siblings together if possible.
I feel like that's really important.
Yeah, but sometimes it's hard when you have, you know, either a sibling group of 3, sometimes we have a sibling group of, you know, 6 or more, and it's really hard to find a home that has the space. And, you know, just the vehicle space for transportation to transport all those kids.
Lots of things to think about.
Yeah, most definitely. And let's talk about the impact. What kind of impact do these foster parents have on these children and teens. I mean, this has to be a really big thing for these kids.
It does. Like, once the kid has a home that's a right fit, you really see a change in that child.
Oh, I bet.
Like, their whole attitude changes. They just need somebody to support them and teach them and be that role model. I mean, at the end of the day, we always try to reunify with their birth parents while they're getting healthy. But that child, it wasn't their fault they came into care, and they really need that role model to help guide them in life.
Yeah, and just step in the meantime. So a little bit earlier, we talked about, you know, the couples that can be accepted or non-couples, single folks and things like that. So you, your organization is really big on diversity, not just among parents, but you see it all the time with the kids as well. Can you just kind of talk a little bit about why that is so important, just to really support, you know, diverse households in that way and set an example for that?
Yeah, so we are, as a company, or organization I should say, very diverse, open to diversity, just because we want everybody to be included and feel like they have a voice. Every child has a voice, and every child needs, you know, a different home to express that voice.
Yeah.
So we try really hard. You know, they have all walks of life, and we need foster parents from all walks of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so someone's watching at home and, you know, been thinking about this, like, oh, do I want to take the jump to become one? If they're kind of on the fence, what would you do to encourage them to kind of take that next step to become a foster parent?
Sure. I mean, just reaching out is always a first step. I've had people reach out. We have a conversation, you know, no pressure.
Yeah.
Just we sit down, answer all their questions, and then sometimes they come back just like a year later, and they decide, hey, we're ready now.
Sure.
Wow.
Because that's a huge decision to take in, you know, a child. Open up your home, open up your heart, and just be giving and willing to spend that time with that child.
Yeah, it can take some time, but the first step is just making that call or reaching out and learning more.
Get that information,
Yeah, oftentimes. Okay, so your Chip In for Children, it's a charity golf outing, and it is coming up at the end of the summer. We've got a little bit of information on the screen right now. Tell us a little bit about it. When is it? Where is it happening?
So this will be our second annual Chip In for Children golf outing. Yes. So there's lots of golf outings, but I wanted one specific to bring awareness to foster care. So it's unique in that way. Proceeds do benefit our foster care program. It'll be on Saturday, September 13th at 1 p.m. at Highland Springs in Rock Island.
Okay, great.
So what kind of activities can people expect? Obviously, we've got golf, but
golf.
It's got to be a lot of fun, right?
Golf, fun, networking. We have lots of raffle prizes. So last year was a fun time. So we're hoping for a bigger, better turnout this year.
Yeah, well, that's great. Second year is awesome. And obviously you're raising money at the end of the day. That's what this does. So can you speak to, like, specifically where that money is most needed or most used within your organization?
Sure. So we need some for recruitment, just getting the word out there. And then just for foster parents, keeping that home stable and safe, just supporting so they can support the kids at the end of the day.
Yeah, okay, well, wonderful. And again, that is the Chip In for Children charity golf outing. It is Saturday, September 13th at Highland Springs Golf Course in Rock Island. And you can learn more about that and about becoming a foster parent just by visiting Lutheran Social Services online. We have that website on your screen right now. And at the very bottom of the screen is the web address, which is lssi.org/fostercare. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us again today and just sharing all of that.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, very important conversation. Thanks, Andrea.